Aloha and welcome to another episode of Omens. It's really interesting times that we live in, especially right after this huge geomagnetic solar storm that we just went through. People are saying that's the largest one in like 500 years. I'm not sure about that, especially, if we research the Carrington event. I feel that worse ones, stronger ones are probably on the way. With that being said, I've got a lot of viewer submissions I would like to share with everyone. Thank you so much. And a special shout out to Perry, one of my viewers out there. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you, Perry. Let me go ahead and get up we're going to do viewer submissions first. I'm going to share these with everyone. Hello to everybody in the chat. I see you all in there. Good to see you guys. Welcome. All right. This first one comes to us from Amanda out of Kentucky. People are still sharing their pictures and videos of the auroras that they took. So here you can see the greenish background. And then she also sent this one where you can see the red up there in the sky. Look how clear the stars are in the background too. I've got a really interesting one where somebody was sharing these little bright little balls of lights too. I'm going to show you that. She also took a picture of this. She wasn't sure what it was. It was about 15 to 25 dots that were just moving across the sky. Probably Skynet. I want to say probably Skynet. It probably is Skynet. It's probably, man, what do you call that Elon Musk train deal up there in the sky? What do they call that? Not Neuralink. What do they call that thing? Anyways, the satellites that are up there in a row or whatever. Now, I have a theory about those. I don't believe that I don't buy the story that they're to provide internet service to the world. When you're out on the ocean or in the Sahara, you can access the internet or whatever. Starlink, yes. Daily Dose. Thank you, Starlink. Thank you, Daily Dose. Starlink, right? My theory is that, those are probably some sort of protective measures for whenever the plasma comes in to create EMPs up there in the sky to sort of blanket the sky with an electromagnetic pulse to keep certain areas safe, which means that they would have to be explosive in nature, right? Here's another one that she took of this Starlink deal or whatever it is. Next up, Cake Town actually sent me a really cool video. Check this out. I'm going to play this. Hopefully you guys can hear the volume. Let me play this. These are those trumpet sounds that people hear in the sky. It really blows my mind that this appears on the news, right? This has been something that people have been hearing increasingly over the past couple of decades. How many people in the chat, just the people who are here, I wonder, how many people in the chat have heard strange sounds in the skies, like trumpets or, something along those lines? Spirit Miracle, I did see your comments. I think it was probably accidentally deleted. So go ahead and repost that one. Spirit Miracle says the dome might be shedding electromagnetic bands. That's possible too. Let's check this out. Listen, pay attention to these sounds. You hear that? How many people have heard something like this? Have you heard something like this? Have you just heard a noise outside?
Man, that's crazy. It's like a trumpet.
This guy says it sounds like a trumpet, right? I could show hundreds of these types of videos. I'm not going to because they're just littered all across the internet, on YouTube, TikTok, all over the place. How many people have heard something similar? How many people have heard an eerie sound coming from the sky outside, but you don't know where it's coming from? Sometimes it sounds like bending or scraping metal. Other times it might sound like a Tyrannosaurus or a dinosaur or Godzilla, or trumpets actually are that's the main sound that people hear when they hear these strange reverberating echoes that seem to be bouncing off of the sky and coming back down and just coming from everywhere. I have heard this. I personally have heard this. When I first heard it, I dismissed it until it went on for about 20 seconds. Then I went outside to my window, just like many people do, and I started looking around to see if I could see anything. Like, where's this coming from? I couldn't find anything. And the sound got louder and louder to the point where my heart started to beat pretty hard. I was like, what? Wait a minute. Okay, this is going on and on now. Man, when did I hear that? It was like 2 years ago that I heard that sound, and it was cool because so many people have heard it. I almost wanted to hear it, and then I did, right? Some people say they hear it and it feels like it's coming from underground. No one seems to know or have any type of explanation, even when this is featured on the news, which it is often. The news people are like, yeah, that's strange. Isn't that weird? Ha 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 ha. Oh, it's so strange and weird. Ha 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 ha. Like Muppets, like on the news. Anyways, really interesting. There's like hundreds of these videos. There's actually more to this one too. Then I've got this one sent in by, Chelsea out of Missouri, who took this picture of the auroras. You could see just shining down and emanating that magenta glow from high up in the atmosphere. The sky being ionized. Here's another one, also from Chelsea out of Missouri. And this is the one that was interesting too. Ginger out of Oklahoma took this picture, and she said that this was actually not of the auroras or anything, but this was just the moon. It was really bright after the solar eclipse. And she said that she saw these little lights, these little dots, just floating about or whatnot. I don't know what they are. She didn't know what they were either. Not fireflies or anything, but look, these are not stars. These ones right here. If I zoom in on this one right here, you can see there's some sort of like a stick or something that shoots up right there. And there's one of these dots in front of this stick. That's why I wanted to share this one. You see that dot right there? Yeah, that's interesting. I just posted something on my community section about the moon. I was out last night walking Scruffy, my little puppy dogs. And the moon looked like a spotlight. It was that bright. And I looked down, I could see the sharp, crisp shadows that were cast by the moon. Go check out my post that I have in my community section. I took a picture of it for everyone. It's insane bright, which is a part of prophecy too, at least biblical prophecy that talks about how during or near to the end times, the moon would increase in its brightness. Here's another one sent from Ginger out of Oklahoma, taking a picture of the red auroras glowing there in the background. Very beautiful. Oh, and then this one's from Josh out of Minnesota. Josh, taking care of his kids, sent this one in. It's okay if it's late. Doesn't matter. It almost looks like there's an arrow. Doesn't that look like an arrow? Like a little pointy arrow right there? But this is the aurora is sort of like directly above him, sort of moving downwards. And that's what it looks like whenever you're directly under it. Check this out. I don't know if Josh even saw that there's this arrow right there. It's like a little bent arrow. Very, very cool stuff. Michael, my actual personal friend, Michael out of Steamboat Springs, shared this one with me. There are multiple videos. These are not his videos. I just wanted to share this. Multiple videos from Spain and Portugal that show a meteor I'm going to quote that one, landing somewhere in Spain. Now, pay attention to these videos and watch how this rock that's on fire slows down. Check this out. Watch how it just puts on the little space brakes and it slows down. If that's a rock, if that's a space rock, like a meteor, how they teach us, why on earth would all of these meteors like slow down? I'm sure that there's people that, will talk to their blue in the face with explanations about, oh, it's the atmosphere, it's slowing it, it's this and that. It reminds me of Independence Day, that movie Independence Day with Will Smith, where they saw the UFO and he's like, how do you know it's not a meteor? And he says, it's slowing down, sir. And it was aliens or whatever, right? But yeah, it's really interesting. Here's another one from Selenite Sky out of Canada. This one was really cool, actually. She took a picture of this lightning strike that was like this magenta lightning. And I slowed it down. I don't have the ability to slow it down on this program that I'm using to share it with you, but I can rewind it. So here it is. Watch this lightning strike. Boom. Let me see if I could capture it right where it strikes. Check this out. Boom. Look at that magenta lightning. And then it just spreads out all the way across the sky. Very cool stuff coming in from the viewers across the world. Now we're going to switch over to the headlines. Let me get that down there. And we'll start sharing some of these headlines. What's going on around the world? And what's the talk on the internet? Let's check this out. First thing I'd like to do is ask you guys a question. Okay, I'm going to share two stories with you. One of them is computer generated. The other one is not. One is completely made up and false. They're both videos. You tell me which one is which. First one is fish raining from the sky. Here's the video. I don't know why I was muted. That's weird. All right. Have I been muted the whole time? Do you guys hear me the whole time, or was it just recently? Let's start that over then, shall we? Man, really? I can't believe I was muted the whole time. That's frustrating. Damn. Well, snap. All right. Well, let's do this. Let me back on up. Let's restart, shall we? Fudge, how long was I muted for? Was it the whole time? Was it the entire show? Just for a few seconds? Oh, for both of the videos. Oh, it must be when I muted the volume on the other thing. Okay, cool. All right, so let's go back. Let's go back just a step here. I got two news stories for you. One of them is computer generated. So here's the first one. It's raining fish. This is raining fish out of Iran, in the country of Iran. Raining fish. A guy picks up a fish. All the little fish are raining down from the sky. And I'll play it one more time there. I just wanted to ask everyone what your thoughts were. Which one of these videos is computer generated and fake news, and which one is real? So we've got the fish raining down in Iran, and then in Dubai we have a snow in Dubai. Basically, this is the snow in Dubai, where they got a little snowman there. There's people having snowball fights and playing around in the snow. There's a sports car and some palm trees covered in the snow. I can't believe I was muted. Man, oh well. So which one of these is the real one and which one is fake? What do you think? Let me jump back into the chat. I'm glad that I checked the chat. I was just muted for a minute. Okay, cool. So let's see. Let's see. What's up, Mac? Good to see you in the chat. All right, so let's see which one. What do people think here? Which one was the false story? Which one was computer generated? Grandpa's in the chat and says the fish. Nagagato says the fish. The falling fish. A lot of people think it was the fish. Let's see. Cat Van Du thinks it was the fish. Max says, I think the snow video was fake. Let's see. The fake snow. Lucas Williams says fake snow. Lucy Rose says, I'm going with Dubai. Okay, Dubai. Okay, it's kind of divided. I will tell you. I'll tell you which one was which. The raining fish story. We'll play it again. If I can. The raining... Jesus, it's loud. The raining fish story is true. It really did rain fish in Iran. So fish were falling from the sky. It was raining gigantic fish. Huge fish all over the place. Interesting stuff. It's not the first time it has rained animals from the sky. This happens all throughout history. There's hundreds of records of it raining all sorts of strange stuff, actually. And there's different kinds of rain, too, according to historic records. There's poison rain. There's parts of our history where people have recorded that the rain was dangerous to go into, that you wouldn't want to go into the rain. It also has been recorded raining insects, animals, different colors of rain as well. This one right here is computer generated. I'll play this one again too. Check this out. So this is how advanced technology has become and is becoming quite exponentially, that people can't tell the difference. One big giveaway is, it is the middle of the desert, and they have like extremely hot temperatures all the year round. Even in winter, it gets as high as like 50 degrees, or as low, I guess, as 50 degrees. I've been there. I haven't been to Dubai, but I was stationed over in Kuwait. It's freaking hot. This is the dead giveaway though. This little people transporter that goes up to the Burj Khalifa. There's no ski lift that goes up to the Burj Khalifa, to the best of my knowledge, at the very least. But look how convincing it is. Look how real it looks. What is that? I don't want that. This part's kind of creepy too. They have this weird shadow figure over here, and this person just kind of staring at it. Another thing too is there's nothing on the side of this little cube. For whatever reason, there's a cube here. And then if you look earlier in the video, there's a little black mark. Oh, maybe that's supposed to be the person. I don't know. Anyways, it's an extremely compelling video. It looks very real. It looks like something that could have been taken in Dubai. Look at all the little kids playing in the snow and stuff. So notice how the camera shakes naturally. Everything keeps track of where it was during the video. It's extremely realistic. Huge omens about technology and the people being able to do whatever they put their minds to, right? Once again, go check out my community post on that. Next up, we've got a comet approaching Earth. Could become brighter than the stars this fall. And here they have a little picture of this comet. What's going on? Why are there so many comets in the last 5 years? How many people remember this being a common occurrence when they were children growing up? I don't. If there was one comet, well, there was two. There was two major ones when I was growing up as a child. There was the Shoemaker comet, and there was some other one. I don't remember the name of it, but it was amazing to see it. It was stuck up there in the sky. Autumn's Armory with the super chat. Thank you. High five to Autumn's Armory. Another great Omens video. Right on. Thank you, Autumn's Armory. Super appreciate you. Yeah, but it's like every single year we've got multiple comets all over the place. Comets are omens. They have always been omens. They're usually bad omens. They usually indicate major shifts and huge changes, and the deaths of leaders across the world. Interesting stuff. The Earth is experiencing an unprecedented shift in carbon dioxide levels. Unprecedented maybe in modern recorded history. However, these things are cyclical, and I'm sure this has happened many times. The Earth is experiencing an unprecedented shift in carbon dioxide levels, according to an Oregon State study. Carbon dioxide. So I promise you they're going to blame humans on this. Like, is the Earth capable of producing carbon dioxide without humanity's help? Yeah, human-related. Boom. Human-related emissions are the primary cause of increased rates of CO2, according to the study. Do these people study geology? I wonder. I'm being honest. I wonder if they actually study geology and ask the question, how much carbon dioxide does the Earth, without humans, so just subtract humans from the equation, how much carbon dioxide does the Earth produce? How does it produce it? So I just ran over to ChatGPT real quick, just for a quick response, right? Carbon dioxide emissions from within the Earth primarily originate from natural, geologic, and biologic processes. Here's the main sources. Volcanic activity. Have we had an increase in volcanic activity? It seems like it, right? Volcanic eruptions release a significant amount of carbon dioxide directly into the atmosphere. Geothermal activity. Geothermal areas such as hot springs, geysers, release CO2 as the process of heating water and rock underground. Degassing from the mantle. CO2 is released from the Earth's mantle through mid-ocean ridges, etc., and so on and so forth. Subduction zones, where tectonic plates push against each other, if you believe in the whole tectonic plate thing. Rock weathering, chemical weathering of carbonate rocks like limestone. can release CO2. Metamorphic processes. Metamorphism, the process of rocks changing under high pressure and temperature, which, by the way, the temperature seems to be increasing inside of the Earth. As the energy is retracting down and charging into the Earth, it creates... It amplifies radioactivity, basically. And that heats up the radioactive elements or isotopes that are inside of the Earth. And then those heat up surrounding gases and metals and stuff like that. So it leads to more eruptions, more volcanoes, more release of carbon dioxide, etc. And then, of course, there's more to it than this, but this is just the gist of it. Just to give you an idea of how much carbon dioxide is released by Mother Nature herself without humanity's help. Biological decomposition. Anytime any form of life dies, it releases carbon dioxide into the air. So, do we have more life just growing on this world constantly, more and more and more and more? Yes, we do. So there's more biological decomposition that's just dumping, massive amounts of CO2 up into the air. So I just wanted to remind everybody that if you do the math, well, I won't say that. I'll speak for myself. I have done the math on how much CO2, approximately, how much CO2 has been released going all the way back to the Industrial Revolution by humans, right? And I compared that to how much CO2 the Earth is capable and typically does release all on its own, given natural biological processes and geological processes, I guess you could say. The Earth way outnumbers any little bits of CO2 that humanity contributes, okay? Are we a part of it? Yes. Are we to blame for it? I very much doubt it. I believe that these are... Now, I do see that there's a correlation between the time when the Earth starts releasing such massive amounts of carbon dioxide and the time whenever humans' population goes out of control, or to some, it seems like the population grows exponentially and there's a lot of people around. And I believe that our ancestors saw that correlation as well. And they saw the correlation between letting the population of humanity grow out of control and then the apocalypse coming. So in the ancient times, they took care of that. I'm not going to say how, but they took care of that. Next up, Neuralink to implant a second human with a brain chip, as 85% of threads retract in the first. I don't know what that means, but yeah, Facebook in your brain. There you go. That's all you need. How many people have got stuck on Facebook just on videos or something, right? You just one to the next one to the next one. You're like, oh my God, what is that? Oh my God, it's insane. Oh my God, oh my God. You just keep on watching those Facebook videos. Can you imagine somebody just mentally on Facebook, just staring off into space while they're like mentally in their own little world looking at weird Facebook posts and stuff? Yeah, don't mind there's a 666 hand signal going on and stuff. How many people, does anyone think this is a good idea? Right? And what they keep on saying is like, oh, it's been approved by the FDA. Go to your local grocery store and see what else has been approved by the FDA. Okay, they don't seem to have your best interest at heart. At least that's my opinion on the subject. So yeah, the FDA approved one person to get hooked up to Facebook in their brain. Oh, now 2 people. Pretty soon it'll be 4 people. Pretty soon it'll be 8 people. And it'll start off with quadriplegics. And then it'll move to somebody who can't move his legs. And then it'll move to somebody who is this and somebody who's that. And then pretty soon it's just regular people that just all want, it's fervor. It's just fervor. People are getting excited because they see one person doing it and they want to emulate that. They want it too. You know what I mean? It's all consumerism. So yeah, hook up. I mean, they also have these things. I saw another article where they have chips where they can program them to self-destruct. So here's a question. What prevents people or corporations from putting some sort of self-destruct mode or other nefarious programs into brain chips? You know what I mean? That's just like that, what was that show? Altered Carbon, right? Where they had these little stacks where they like recorded their personalities and stuff and, made it so that people could like live forever by just transferring their little brain chip or whatever into like a new body and stuff. Basically, we live in sci-fi. Sci-fi is coming alive. People putting chips in their brain so they can connect themselves to the internet and upload and download with their mind by just thinking about it, which is like, I took this clip from Batman Forever, right? Where the Riddler says, "This is your brain on the box. This is my brain on the box. Does anyone else feel like a fried egg?" There's another one which just shows a family, all of them connecting. This is basically the movies showing us the truth in what would come eventually. This came out in what, 1998 or something. Nobody had a brain implant, a chip, a computer implanted into their mind where they can access information. So if you can access information with a little chip or a computer in your brain, what is to prevent the chip from sharing information or implanting information, creating false memories that lead us to scenarios like Dark City and, other fantastic movies. Pardon me. Alaskan rivers are turning milky orange and toxic. So this is an interesting thing that's happening in the news. Here's a picture. Here's just an example right behind me. You can see the difference between these waters, which water is not supposed to be blue, just as a reminder, okay? It's not supposed to be blue either, okay? Water is supposed to be clear, maybe reflecting a blue sky possibly, but it's not actually supposed to be blue or green or whatever. This is still algae over here on this side too. This side is there's metals and different things that are being released as the permafrost, aka frozen dead bodies from the last apocalypse, melts, and all of those things oxidize and it turns the water orange, etc. In the world to come, you're going to need to get used to seeing a lot of that color. A lot of orange, a lot of that rusty post-apocalyptic Mad Max style colors because of all of the oxygen that will be reintroduced into our atmosphere from all of the terrestrial, ionized oxygen or beams of light that shoot up out of the earth that will oxidize everything, which means a lot of rust and stuff, okay? Which is why they typically show you that same type of color on post-apocalyptic style movies, that orangey, rusty color, right? Now, hold on. There was something about methane in this article. Where was it? Methane. Where was it? Oh, it's right here. So the permafrost is rapidly melting due to climate change, risking methane release. So there's an abundance. They say there's an abundance of methane that is stored up and sort of kept in the earth, which is true. Many gases are kept in the earth. But under the permafrost, and within it, there's all this methane, right? From all the stuff biodegrading, I suppose. Anyways, all that methane is flammable. So imagine the amount of methane if it were to escape from the bottoms of the Arctic Ocean, which also suppresses all that methane, right? And the permafrost itself, an abundance of methane up there in the north, in that area. What happens if, I don't know, cosmic plasma comes down into our world and ignites an abundance of methane that's released from worldwide earthquakes? So check this out. Under the Arctic Ocean, several flammable gases are trapped, primarily within the seabed sediments and permafrost. The most notable of these gases include methane, number 1, CH4, right there. Hydrogen sulfide, number 2. Also ethane, propane, butane, some other ones too. But let's take a look at this hydrogen sulfide, right? AKA sulfur, which begs the question in the Bible and other religious scriptures and writings and stuff. They make reference to a lake of fire, a lake that burns with fire, a place on earth where water catches fire, or at least it seems like the water is catching fire. But it's not the water that's burning or catching fire, because water doesn't catch on fire. Gases catch on fire, right? And if there is an abundance of sulfur or gaseous forms of sulfur down underneath the Arctic Ocean or in the permafrost, and it's released, something ignites it, and boom, you've got the gases being released, the oceans bubbling up looking like they're boiling, and then all of that methane and other flammable gases caught on fire up there around the Arctic Circle. Farida, thank you for your donation, says, "Hello, dear friends. I'm here with the Good Vibe Tribe. Good to see this live. Love and joy." Thank you, Farida. That was very kind. Now, speaking of fire, I want to show this to you. Speaking of fire and the apocalypse, or specifically the depressurization of our atmosphere. I have talked about how fire will be different. It will look different and it will feel different after the apocalypse. immediately after the apocalypse and during the apocalypse. If the atmosphere of our world depressurizes, as I believe that it will, then what that does is it increases buoyancy in the atmosphere, which means objects weigh less and things tend to float, right? Fire will act just like it would, quote unquote, in space. Now, here's a video of Chinese astronauts lighting a candle with a match up there in, quote unquote, space. Now, I don't believe in space as in outer space. I do believe there is space between us and the firmament, though. And I also believe that the pressure decreases the higher up you go towards the center point of our enclosed system of the world that we live in. I'll show you actually a picture and an example. But I want you to notice how fire moves about. Here's a regular flame down here on the surface, okay? And then here's a flame up there where like the ISS and stuff like that are. Now, some people might immediately be like, oh, it's CGI, it's fake. And that's a possibility because I just showed you how CGI can create snow in Dubai and stuff, right? But let's suppose that it's real, right? Let's suppose that they're not outside of the dome, because that can't happen until the dome opens and rips apart and the firmament recedes like a scroll, as it says in the Bible. But let's say that the higher up in the atmosphere you go, the more buoyancy increases because there's less pressure in the middle. The pressure goes all the way around the surface, including the dome itself, right? Just like within a balloon is a perfect example. So if you have less pressure and you have more buoyancy, then fire will actually not lift up into like the typical flame shape. It will branch out like a bush, like a burning bush, right? It'll also be less hot. So it will oftentimes turn from being orange or red in color or yellow to blue, which you will see right here. Watch this. Check this out. So you notice how it's more of a rounded, and then as they hold it there, it actually starts to turn blue. My hand's in the way. So check this out. Here's the regular looking fire that we're all used to, where it rises up, right? But whenever you have an increase in buoyancy, not a decrease in gravity, but an increase in buoyancy, then it circles out. It bows around just like that. And it will also start turning blue because it's less hot. With the less pressure means that there's less heat coming off of it. And sometimes if the heat is low enough, you could actually just touch the fire and it won't even burn you. And you could see it creates a blue flame just like that. So I thought that was interesting to share. Here's the example of the balloon. Okay, so if we imagine the balloon represents our world, this would be like the firmament up here, and then you would have to imagine that there's a little surface area across the bottom of the balloon there. The pressure goes to the outside. So in the middle is where it's very buoyant, right? So I proposed like a thought process, a little thought experiment to ChatGPT, and I asked it, if I put a helium balloon that's very small inside of a very large helium balloon, would it gravitate towards the walls and float around or float up or whatever, or would it stay in the middle? And ChatGPT says the smaller helium balloon would tend to rest in the center of the larger helium balloon. This is due to the equal distribution of pressure and the lack of buoyant forces acting differently in different directions with the uniform helium environment. So just to give you an example, a little picture for your mind, this in the middle, it would be space. Okay, our surface would be way down here. They blast off, they go up there to where the pressure is the least, which is in the center of the enclosed area, and this is where things would float, if they do, right? That's the only way I can see the concept of satellites and floating rocks and whatever else stuff floats out there because of buoyancy. Next up, nova explosions are going to be visible to the naked eye, and that's expected any day now. So now they can predict stars exploding. Doesn't that sound crazy and ridiculous? They can barely predict the weather, and they're like, oh yeah, we're due for that particular star up there to explode any day now. How would you even go about predicting that? Unless the heavens are a lot different than what we've been told, right? If there's some star billions and billions of miles away, there's no way. The odds are just none, that anyone could ever predict when one of them would explode, okay? Blake 1991. Wow, everyone's so kind. Thank you so much, Blake, for your donation. I appreciate you. So people predicting stars exploding, according to modern academic models, is pretty much impossible from my perspective. Unless the heavens are a lot different, unless things are a lot closer, unless things are cyclical, like a clock, and our world works like a cyclical clock, then we could predict when comets are going to come and when stars will appear to explode, or things of that nature, because they're cyclical and they happen. But yeah, they say that one of the stars in our sky is going to explode sometime between May and September. A white dwarf star is expected to go thermonuclear. Fireworks in the heavens. Which this might actually be why people made fireworks, to sort of emulate that, now that I think about it. I don't know. I mean, I know that's not the official story, but just thinking outside the box. Ocean water is rushing miles underneath the Doomsday Glacier, with potentially dire impacts on sea levels rising. Okay, I gotcha. Some glacier melting off into the ocean. I could see how that would add a little bit of water to the flood that is the ocean, right? But if it continues to heat up, and if the sun continues to get hotter, like I believe that it is, the water will just expand. So it'll appear like it's rising, and it's got to be from all the extra water that's being poured into the ocean. This, however big it is, they're like, oh, it's the size of Manhattan or whatever. That's tiny in comparison to the rest of the earth. Come on. That's so minuscule and small. Oh, it'll make it all rise by 19 inches or, whatever Bill Nye is saying. I don't know about that. I'm not super convinced. I'm more convinced that if the ocean levels rise, it's because the water is expanding because the earth is getting incredibly hot, or the atmosphere is getting hot. The sun is getting hot. Next up, it's the hottest May, speaking of that, ever in Miami. So it's already super hot, and it's only May in Miami. The heat index is completely off the charts. I don't live in Miami, but this is the story, that it's already super, super hot. So watch out for that. The weathers are hitting their extremes. We live during a time of extremes right now, as I've mentioned. Next up, we've got architecting lunar infrastructure. So let me comment on this word first. May I just talk about this? This is why our languages are so screwed up. Okay? We implement these rules of grammar and whatnot, and then we don't even follow them. People just start speaking gibberish and making up things. Like, for example, architect is a noun. So you're not supposed to put ing at the end of a noun, because that's a suffix reserved for a verb. Okay? I know I'm sort of nitpicking, but it's important, because if we continue to allow this trend, then it leads to confusion. It leads to different dialects and people not understanding one another, and the diversity of even more languages and accents and all that type of stuff that stems from the Tower of Babel. And people are just babbling. Architecting is not a word, right? You can't just put ing at the end of it. That's like people saying, I'm a commentator, right? I use that as an example all the time. A commentator is a regular potato, not somebody who comments on a basketball game or whatever it may be. Okay, those are commenters, which is appropriate. That's the actual real word. People will just say, I'm commentating. Oh, excuse me. Hold on a minute. I'm commentating. Like, how they just keep on adding suffix after suffix after suffix and prefix after prefix until they just have gibberish and made up junk words. Anyways, back to this little story. They are architecting lunar infrastructure. These are the plans they have. They always show you these terrible early PlayStation graphics. They can't even come up with new stuff that looks real, where they're planning on building trains on the moon. What do they have up there now? Let's go back and think of a list of what kind of advanced technology that they allegedly have up there on the moon. Let's see. There's a moon car. There's a bunch of trash. There's a flag. There's a camera. Remember they left that cameraman up there? Might be a dead body up there from the cameraman that was watching everyone else take off and return safely back to Earth. Yeah, there's not much up there. And the alleged videos of landing on the moon or crashing into it that they do have from different countries are terrible, right? The graphics, I like the graphics on Mars better. The graphics on Mars are great, right? They've got some PlayStation 5 graphics on Mars. Moon graphics suck. And who buys this crap? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like people's sense of intelligence, at least the intelligent ones, should almost be like, are you kidding me? You know what I mean? Like, this is not real. Okay. It's not, there's no physical actual moon that you see in the sky. That's a rock just dangerously floating, looming above our sky, and people land on it and they're sending robots off to it with just terrible pixelated video. And like, who buys this? I mean, I know who buys it. Okay. It's the common person. It's everybody. It makes me proud to be an exception, right? I mean, I run self-diagnostic on myself all the time. I run a self-diagnostic, and I'm like, you know, am I crazy? Like, is that what it is, or is the rest of the world crazy? I talk to myself all the time. I ask myself stuff like that because I don't buy this. I'm not tricked. I'm not convinced that there's garbage truck looking trains on, you know, or that they're going to build them, or that they're going to land up there. I told you, like, guys, what was it, a year ago? We were doing Omens right when we first started, and they're like, oh, we're going to send people to the moon. I'm like, no, they're not. Did they? No. Why not? Oh, our spacesuits aren't ready yet. We need to have better spacesuits, so we delayed our mission. And no. You guys are never going to the moon, ever. You're not going back to it because you never went. You're not going to it. You're not returning. There's nothing happening with the moon unless you want to pass right through a freaking light in the sky. That's my opinion. All right, next up. Oh, speaking of geniuses, watch this. Elon Musk's plan to address the very solvable water scarcity crisis. This is straight from Idiocracy. This is just like the movie Idiocracy. Elon Musk's plan. First of all, good job. Like, you know, seems like he could be an intelligent guy. I haven't really met him or anything. Maybe compared to like normal people, common people, maybe they are like, oh, my mind is blown. Oh, he's such a brilliant person. Oh my God, he's so intelligent. He made a robot. Okay, well, so can you. Okay, so can I. So can many of us if you put your mind to it. Elon Musk's plan to address the very solvable water scarcity crisis on a world that's 75% water. Elon Musk's plan to address the very solvable water scarcity crisis. I didn't know there was a problem with us running out of water. When I was a child, let me share a story with you. When I was a child, my mother would say, don't leave the water running, you know, because maybe we'll run out or something. I'm like, Mom, the earth's covered in ocean. There's water everywhere. As a child, I knew this. You know what I mean? So how do you solve the water crisis? Go to the ocean, desalinize it, or take out the salt content, right? Desalinate it, and drink it. It's there. There's water all over the place. Okay, I'm like, this is ridiculous. Okay, Elon Musk dropped the 10th World Water Forum in Bali, Indonesia. Isn't Indonesia surrounded by water? Let's look that up. Hold on. Yep. Yup. Hold on. Let me get back to this little article here. This cracks me up. Hold on. Where were we here? Is it this one? Yeah. Okay. So in Indonesia, a country surrounded by water, outlined a plan to solve humanity's growing water scarcity crisis. Everything's a crisis these days. I'm tearing up. I'm laughing so hard on the inside. The potential for solving any given water issue is very good. Wow. Listen to that vocabulary. He told the assembled dignitaries. Let's see. What else do they say? I haven't even read this. Water is a finite resource and in growing demand. Really? Where? Where? In the Sahara? Is that where there's a water crisis? Definitely not on the island of Bali. Isn't it an island? 2.3 billion already live in water-stressed community or countries or whatever. You guys need to move. I don't know. About 4 billion people, half of humanity, experience severe water scarcity during at least 1 month of the year. How is this possible? He looks stiff, doesn't he? It looks like he needs a massage. Looks like, what was the dad in the Monsters? He kind of looks like the dad in the Monsters with, if I put the Monsters head right there. Anyways, this, it's very solvable. The water scarcity crisis on the flooded earth is very solvable. All right, let's not harp on that too much. Speaking of geniuses, right? Check this out. So there's some killer whales, and there's a video of a guy belly flopping onto a killer whale with its baby next to it. New Zealand man fined for purposefully jumping onto an orca. That's a killer whale, right? An orca. With its calf, its baby. That's a super genius idea, right? So no wonder, and he's jumping into the water, right? During the water crisis, this guy jumps into the water to belly flop. He just wants to touch it. The people that are watching are all probably drunk, and they're like, "Did you touch it? Did you touch it?" It's a killer whale. Let me just double check, make sure. Orca killer whale, right? Yeah, or killer whale. Yeah. So good job, genius. I don't know. I have nothing to say about that except for Idiocracy is the world we live in. Now this article says you can now buy 4-foot tall humanoid robots for 16 grand. I highlighted the word "you" because it should say rich people. It should not say you. You are broke. Okay. I know this. I'm broke. Okay. I'm poor. I appreciate everybody's support and stuff. You know, I do what I got to do and can do and enjoy doing to get by. But we're broke. We're all poor. Okay. You is rich people. Okay. So if you have an extra $16,000 that you don't know what to use on, you can buy a little future killer robot to watch it break dance in your living room or whatever dumb things people are going to use robots for. And you know, and then one day its eyes will turn red and you know what happens after that. All right. The I-Team says, why aren't Cleveland police using drones and cameras? Let me say that the way they say it. Why aren't the Cleveland police using drones and cameras? Huh? Why aren't they doing that? Check this out. I want to show you this video. This is a sincere question. They want whoever this is, them. They want the Cleveland. You guys still hear me? I didn't mute again, did I? Okay, good. Just checking. All right, cool. Where was I here? They want the police to use drones. I don't. How many? No, nobody does. Okay, nobody does. Watch this.
Is now pressing city leaders on a long delay getting Cleveland police to use cameras and drones, the same equipment used by so many other departments. IT reporter Ed Gallagher.
I mean, everyone's using drones these days.
We took questions to the safety director.
We asked the
asking,
police,
what's the holdup?
What's going on? Huh, police? How come you don't have flying robot police enforcement people things? Like, do people buy this just like the whole trains on the moon deal?
Police basic crime fighting equipment.
Basic.
Listen and see what you think of the answer.
That's like having
Yesterday,
shoes.
The I-Team revealed Cleveland City Council approved buying drones for police, and
that's what I want. I want more police drones to make sure that I'm a law-abiding citizen going exactly the speed limit. Okay, I mean, no offense to people that drive the speed limit or under or way under. I'm just saying, nobody wants this. Okay, not my kind of people. not me. I don't want that following me anywhere. I don't want that equipped with guns or lasers. I don't want that taking pictures of me and following me around to make sure I'm on my best behavior and doing exactly what I'm told to do. Screw that.
2022. But we've learned the city just ordered them weeks ago, and we revealed the city
Get out of my
installed
face,
cameras
drone.
in Cleveland police cars last year, but police are now only slowly beginning to record
Can
video
you
from
believe
dash
it?
cams.
This is exactly like the movie RoboCop. This is when they open up a door and some steam comes out and you hear serve and protect. You're coming with me. You know what I mean? Like, nobody wants this. They're doing a news story speaking for the people, putting thoughts into your head, telling you like, yeah, they're trying to get you. They're using mob mentality is what this is. Okay. Because it's on the news, people are assuming that everyone feels this way when nobody feels this way. Okay. I'll use that same mob mentality magic voodoo. Okay. In reverse. Nobody wants this. I don't want this. Nobody I know wants this.
At a news conference.
And then they're pressuring the cops. They're like, yeah, hey. They have like a couple of people hired to like, complain about it. How come you guys don't have cop robots yet, huh? How come you guys don't have drones out there enforcing things?
Using technology to fight crime. So the I-team listened.
Using technology to fight crime. Or do you think it's possible that you're using technology to commit crimes?
And we asked this.
Why has it taken 2 years to order drones, and why are the Cleveland police just now beginning to use dash cams that were installed last year?
What's wrong with you guys?
We want to make sure that we have the best technology.
We want the best. We want the very best. We've been just going slow. We just want the really best for everyone. The best stuff. We want to make sure it's for your safety and for your this. And we just want the best stuff. So they're waiting for the very best drones. They're waiting for RoboCop, basically. And if you've seen RoboCop, you know how that goes. All right, that's enough of that. Why the world's oceans are changing color. I'll tell you right now. Because the added heat creates perfect living conditions for phytoplankton, cyanobacteria, other types of bacteria, stuff that grows in ocean water. And it turns them colors, turns them to this bluish, pretty blue-green color, turns it this color, green. And then whenever they go into protective mode, because it gets too hot, it turns red. And that turns into what's known as red tide. And then they have these algal blooms, these harmful algal blooms, or HABs is what they're calling them now. This is predicted in the Bible, that most of the world's ocean would turn red. And then as a result, there would be plagues and people would become sick. And like, it's super common sense whenever we break it down into its simple forms. It's getting hot. Oh my God, the ocean's turning green. And what comes next, right? Just like I wrote in my community post, people, how do I phrase this? I mean, I really recommend reading the post. It was late at night and I just had thoughts coming to me, so I decided to share them. But because people's energy is so focused, right? Anywhere outside of that focused is just laziness, and it's darkness, basically. But because of that, since we're speaking of omens and whatnot, outside of that focus, collectively, humanity cannot see the past or the future, which are in the peripheral. Okay, they're not thinking about the future. They're not thinking about the impact of their focus on robotics and machines and technology right now. They're not the future is off to the peripheral in a blind spot, as is the past. So people don't know. People have no idea why the whole entire ocean is changing color and it's no longer bluish in color. It's green now. And they can't see what's just beyond the horizon, which is red skies, red ocean, etc. All right, that's pretty much it. That's all I really wanted to share. Thank you. Thanks for sharing everything on my website. To everyone that left a viewer submission, I appreciate it. Let me go ahead and take this down. Boom and pow. And that's it. Let's see what else. Do I have anything coming up? Let's see. I'm going to be a dad for the next couple days, so I'll probably take a couple days off and do stuff like that. In the background, I'm working on my website, getting my book released, my second book, and I'll be getting ready for Truth in Movies this weekend. And I'll be posting the Masterpiece Mad Libs. We had to skip last weekend, but I'm gonna get back into Masterpiece Mad Libs this Saturday. All right, until next time, I'm JayDreamerZ saying good vibes and goodbye.
Come